But of course, the age-old question,
Hmm.
PC versus
Huh.
PS5 Pro. Which one should you buy? And
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
there's only two ways to really look at this, which is if you don't have a PlayStation or a PC, I'd say the PlayStation is probably easier to get into if you want to get straight into video games. If you already have a PlayStation 5, but you don't have a PC, I'd say save that money towards a PC because the PS5 kind of does all the things the PS5 Pro will already do, just slightly better. All the games on the Pro will still come on the PS5, so it's not really worth paying an extra £700. But if you have a PS5 and a PC, then I would say use that £700 and put it towards a better graphics card, because then you will just beat the PS5 Pro. And there are two examples that I managed to find. Two cards you can consider are the RTX 4070 Super Series, which, as you can see, is going around for about £600. So you're £100 clear there. And the other one is the Radeon RX 7900 XT, which are, I believe, the top of the top for AMD's GPUs, which sits just around £700. Now, so the RX 7900 XT came out in 2022. The 4070 Super came out this year, so it's not even that old. You can see the original launch price was $900, so it's actually dropped a fair bit from then because it's a couple of years old, but it's still incredibly strong. And if we look at the average FPS across all PC games, you can see that they both very comfortably hit 1080p Full HD at over 200 frames per second. 2K both managed to hit over 140 frames per second, and then 4K is where they both managed to hit over 87, well, over 60 frames per second. They're both in the 80s. Now, this obviously does depend on the type of games that they choose. So, GTA 5, for example, they easily knock it out the park, and that's been out for ages, so that just makes sense. But if we look at some other graphically demanding games such as Cyberpunk, oh, we got some hefty. So we got RX 40. Left side is the 7900 XT. As you can see, it can do 4K 60. As for the 4070 Super, it can do 4K around 4045. But when it comes to ray tracing, the 4070 Super actually performs better. So those are a lot of different factors that take place. But the point is, these cards are very good at 2K and have the capability to do 4K. TLDR on that question, if you have both a PS5 and PC, put that money towards a better graphics card. If you have neither, probably go for the PS5 Pro. Sorted. If you have neither and don't really want to get into the weeds of a PC, then just go for a PlayStation. It's plug and play. It should be nice and straightforward. PC versus PS5 Pro, just get a PS5, baby. Now, what confused me is this guy, which said the PS5 Pro eliminates all talks of a console war. Well, yeah, Xbox kind of themselves with the console war quite a while ago. They focused way too much on games as a service than actually making very good first party games for their console. Don't know why. Don't know why. Bad for competition, and it's why PlayStation can now do the things they're getting away with. They kind of said the fact that Xbox is failing is the reason why they can price the PS5 Pro at the price range they did, because there's no competition anymore. PlayStation wins this generation, but then he goes, this system is like playing on a high-end ultra settings PC for $100,000. No, it's not. It really isn't. There are really good graphics cards for under £1,000, but this is not your high-end PC. Now, someone likes to point out this little comparison on Alan Wake 2, where the PS5, they're trying to show off the ray tracing capabilities of the PS5 Pro, but the PS5, there isn't really anything there. The PS5 Pro has something going across there, a bit blurry, but it works, it does its job. And the PC is very, very clear. There's a lot of clarity in the image. That's high-end PC, and I can guarantee you it runs at much higher frame rates than a PS5 Pro is capable of. And one of the biggest reasons is a PC is heavily customizable in terms of the graphics card and the processor. So the PS5 Pro only has a better graphics card. They didn't really improve the processor because it's 10% faster. That means nothing. It's great to have a high-end graphics card, but if your processor is limiting the power and potential of that graphics card, then you kind of lowering the value a bit. You're only as strong as your weakest link. That weakest link is that processor, and they didn't do anything to it. The biggest advantage for the PS5 Pro is its PSSR capabilities, which is the upscaling that it manages to do, which graphics card have been doing for a while. And this makes some games on the PS5 Pro look much better than they did on the PS5. Like, this is a quite nice example. As we've seen Alan Wake 2 again, this is the game without ray tracing, and this is the game with ray tracing. Without ray tracing, with ray tracing. You can mainly see it here. The environment is being shown on the puddles, well, in the puddles, being reflected into the puddles. There we go. The trees are gone here, but that's because it's actually reflecting what's nearby in the environment. Improvements. I'm not knocking the PS5 Pro for improvement. I'm knocking it because it's not the level of improvement that we'd like it to be. I do like this tweet. The PS5 Pro has lines across the middle of the console, which are a nod to the lines Sony executives were doing when they priced this thing, trying to judge for inflation. Probably around 550, 600. I think that's a much better price point than what it is now, especially when you consider that they removed the disc drive and you have to pay an extra £100 for it. 550. 550. Once I consider the disc drive. But one game that I hear has the biggest improvement, of course, Spider-Man 2 does, and a lot of the first party Sony games do because that's just expected. But they all looked really good in the first place. But one that did struggle was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is still a PS5 exclusive at this point. Going from remake to rebirth, you can see there's a drop off in terms of graphical quality just to make up for the scale of the game. And this person here is saying one of the PS5 Pro, of the PS, and this person here is going, of the PS5 Pro upgrades I've seen, the one I'm most impressed by is FF7 Rebirths. It's really great to be able to play this game at 60 FPS with a clearer image. And yes, he makes it look bad. I'm not gonna lie, it probably did look that bad. Noticeably better on the PS5 Pro. Rebirth on the PS5 Pro left and the base PS5 feels like I have a PS6. No, but I bet it's definitely better. And truthfully, gotta love Twitter compression for absolutely butchering your video, buddy. But I'm gonna be honest, I actually can't tell much of a difference. Maybe it's my eyes, I must be going old, but I can't see much of a difference. This person said it perfectly fine. My ideal PS5 Pro would play PS5, PS4, 3, 2, 1, and if only it could play PSP and PS Vitas. That I'd pay 700 for that because there are some great games just lost that you can't really play anymore. Do I think the PS5 Pro will run GTA 6 at 60 FPS? Not in hell's chance. there is no way that game will run at 60 FPS on a PS5 Pro unless everything's running on polygon figurines. I'd love to be proven wrong, and I'm guessing that PSSR will play a massive role in the ability to get the game to run at a somewhat decent frame rate. But you're gonna need a good system to utilize the technology that they're showing off. All that to say between PS5 and PS5 Pro, yeah, just buy a PlayStation.